Since the bear market is moving to its later stages, now you're probably wondering how you can find these 100x plus altcoins before they blow up. In this video, I will show you the exact strategy which I used during the previous bull market to find these tokens like Gala, Polygon, Avalanche, Terra Virtua, and many others. Stay tuned. Hello guys, my name is Željko and welcome to Unsymmetric. So I remember the times when I was looking for the good performing altcoins, and when I searched for the topic like this, I realized that the majority of YouTubers actually use the opportunity to shield the coins for which they're paid to promote instead of actually showing step-by-step process. So this is what I want to do today. Obviously, the first thing that you should look into is at which stage of the market we are, and is it actually the good time to go into the alts. And now if we take a look into the charts today, for example, we can see that we are in a range at like 28.3k to 30.3k. There's actually few possible scenarios where it would be actually a good time to go into the alts. The first one would be if we break 32k and we manage to hold it as a support. That would be a great signal that we are actually in a bullish momentum. The other scenario would be pretty much to have a pullback in price, followed by again holding a support at either like 27k, either 200 daily moving average, either 21.8k. Everything below it is something that would concern me, and I would still wait to go into the alts. We can see pretty much the similar thing if we take a look at the Bitcoin dominance. We can see that the Bitcoin dominance is stopping soon. So pretty much like the first pullback that we have, I believe that we're gonna have Bitcoin dominance increasing even more. And that's the time when actually the altcoins will start rallying, and it's actually the time when this is a good strategy to apply actually. So let's move to the first step, which is actually identifying these potentially good altcoins. If you're following the crypto Twitter and you're active in crypto community for a while, you probably heard for a quote, "Don't trade against the trend." And honestly, I apply the similar strategy for investing as well. So usually what I do is I look into the projects that are just taking off, but you need to be very careful that you don't invest into the projects that already went 20x without a pullback or anything similar. And usually one of the things when you're looking into these projects, you will see that the projects are going up together in narratives. As you could see previously, AI narrative, layer 2 narrative, for example. And one thing to take into consideration is if you don't understand the narrative, if you don't understand the projects, don't invest in them, because it's also important that even though the projects are going together in narratives, that the project in which you are investing is unique or it's better in some ways, and that it has a strong differentiators in comparison to other projects in that niche. So there are many websites that you can actually use for this. Different people prefer different websites. What I used in the majority of my crypto journey is actually CoinMarketCap. You can do the same thing on CoinGecko. Pretty much go to customize, and there you enable 30-day moving in prices. The reason why I use 30 days is because like if you look into the 7 days, you can sometimes see a large movement, and that movement is showing just a recent price action that might be highly correlated with the Bitcoin price movement. And if you're looking into the 30 days, that gives you just a good perspective, because if you look into the longer time frame, the narrative might be already finished or it's close to end, and that's the reason why I try to look into the 30 days. And I always like to look into the charts. What I like to see is, for example, with the WU network, is that in the past we had some previous all-time high, which is much higher than a current price. But the current price is actually slightly going upwards, and it's not in a stagnation period as we could see here. Or that we had a small rally and then holding a support. That's another good possibility in my opinion. The other good website that people use for this is Crypto Bubbles. you can pretty much narrow down the categories and like how much risk you want to expose yourself to, on which exchanges do you want to trade. You can create your own watch list, so it's pretty good when it comes to that as well. The site which I'm using currently is Lunar Crash, and the reason for that is because it provides like multiple parameters for each coins. There is also AltRank and Galaxy Score, which pretty much shows you the relative performance of these coins to their own price and to the overall market, which can be pretty useful. But for example, if you open Pepecoin, you can see that it took too much already, and probably, as you heard in the news or something like that, and I don't like to invest in meme coins, and that's why I skip it, for example. But this can help you to find the coins that pretty much are holding like the support, for example, as Arbitrum does. And usually what I like to see is that we are actually creating lower highs, because that means that there is a high demand for the token, that people are not waiting for price to drop to previous lower low to buy it. Instead, they try to front run it and buy it just a bit earlier. So if you look into the altcoin rank, it pretty much ranks you the coins by positions, while the Galaxy Score shows relative performance to Bitcoin, which is usually around 50. So the coins which are above it are good possible options in my opinion. So again, what I do is I usually go through each of the coins with high Galaxy Score and high AltRank score. I research all of them. Firstly, what I look into the price, and I like to see something that's pretty much like this, where we had a period of stagnation with creating a higher lows and then probably a slight increase in price at the times when the Bitcoin showed strength as well, and creation of again higher lows, which pretty much shows the strength and potential for breaking these resistances and then getting a much higher price as well. So as you can see, the first step is identifying the price, since the price action usually tells you if there is a potential. Once you open more coins and you check the charts, you will usually see that there are more coins of similar narratives, and you will be like, oh, there are layer 1 solutions that are going up, or there are DeFi coins that are going up, or meme coins. And this is always the first step that I'm doing, because it's probably the easiest and the fastest way to just fastly look up for new coins. After this, you honestly have a long process to research each of the projects, probably around an hour or so, and after even that hour or so, it really depends on how much you understand the technology and other related things. After that, you should pretty much follow this project on their socials, what they're doing, what's their roadmap, other things as well. And again, before that, you should always check if this is actually a good time to invest into the project, or currently it's maybe better to stay in Bitcoin, Ethereum and stablecoins. After I complete this type of the research, probably the next thing that I look into is their social, so probably their Twitter, their Telegram, their Discord, but not necessarily how many followers they actually have, because now today it's actually pretty easy to buy fake followers. What I look into is how much interest from the community they get, if they're replying to the questions of the community, and what's the actual engagement. Honestly, here you want balance. You don't want a project that is all the time on their socials, and then when you look into their GitHub, they have like zero activity on GitHub. It's important that they're responsive to their community and that they're maybe doing some MAAs or something similar, but you don't want them to invest huge amounts of money to promoting the project and things like that, because if the project is actually good and it has good fundamentals, it will bring traction by itself, since today everyone is looking for the good potential investment opportunities, and people will find the project if the project is actually good. Tokenomics is another important aspect of each project, and like one of the things that I like to look into, especially during the bear market, is issuance rate, because you don't want to invest into the projects that have like 50% issuance rate yearly, because like if you need to wait 2-3 years for the next bull market, that's huge inflation of the coins that are appearing in the markets, and it's most likely that we won't be able to see that huge demand from the buying side. I mentioned the GitHub and developers activity. Another thing that's important in my opinion is that you see network activity and that the number of transactions is increasing, or at least that it's increasing in comparison to other chains. If we are in a bear market where obviously number of transactions is much lower. Another important thing is who is the team and who are the leaders and where they worked, and sometimes if you can't find this information about the project, honestly I would usually keep investing into it. Also, when you're looking into it, you don't want it to be a one-man show where pretty much founder is famous and he has connections, but you don't know and you can't find anyone else from the team. Another really important thing that you should know is like what is the roadmap of the projects and what are the events that are happening around it. For example, if you invest into the Litecoin, you should be aware that the halving is around August 2023, and you should probably learn and educate yourself and maybe even watch the history, how the projects reacted to similar news in the past and how these projects react in general in the markets around this type of events. As you can see, there are so many things that you should look out for. Another thing maybe is to look for large investors that invested into the project. Usually this signalizes that actually there is a good underlying technology behind it. I focus mainly at the first stage of this, like searching for these projects, because I realized there are so many people that actually invest too late and they pretty much invest at the local high and then they're riding the projects until it falls completely off, and it's something that you should be really careful about. Regarding the other parts of the process, this will improve over time. As you look up for the more and more projects, you will just become better and faster at it. Time goes on, and as you're looking for the more and more projects, you will become better at understanding the projects and the other parts of the process, and you will be way faster and you will be more accurate with it. And the most important thing, for some projects you will be immediately be able to say this is a big no, I don't want to invest into this and I'm looking for something that is less risky or something that is much better at one of the points that I was talking about in this video. Also, if you're not sure in how many projects you should actually invest into, you can watch my portfolio video here where I explained exactly in how many projects you should invest and what approach you should use. I really hope that this video helped you at least a little bit and that you're gonna be able to find some of these good performing alts during the next bull run. Stay strong and healthy. Bye.